Thank you for choosing Blade for your restoration business. In this video, we'll explore the Work Performed panel. Let's get started. Start by expanding the Work Performed panel in the desired job. The Work Performed panel is the central location where you document the billable labor, materials, and equipment used on a job. This tool is one of the most important in the Blade desktop and mobile app. So we'll spend some time to cover the most important features, starting with a review of the layout. We'll then touch on adding service items. We'll review how Work Performed maintains a permanent record of daily work while still creating a fully priced invoice. We'll see how Blade pre-filters service items to make data entry easy and accurate. We'll end with a review of how Blade automates equipment-related data entry. The left side checkbox allows you to select one or more line items and delete them. The next column displays the service item's invoice order. The invoice order ensures visual consistency here in the grid and on each invoice. The invoice order is simply an alphanumeric value that you assign to each of your custom service items. Consistency in your layout is an important way to speed things up and get it right. Building and reviewing an invoice is easier when service items appear in consistent order on the invoice. Override and change the display order by clicking on any of the titles in the blue bar. A pop-up is displayed that allows you to highly configure how the list of work performed is displayed. The Visits column displays the date and time of the visit when this service item was performed, used, or consumed at the job site. Pick the visit from the drop-down in the entry bar. This list of visits gets its data from entries you make in the Rooms and Visits panel. The narrow column with the A or N means the visit was after hours or during normal business hours. The affected room, description, units, and quantity columns are self-explanatory. Blade allows you to create and edit line item notes for each entered service item. Toggle between Show Notes and Hide Notes to view and edit notes. These notes are called F9 notes in Xactimate. They print on the invoice to provide measurements, details, or justification to support the work you performed at the job site. Blade allows you to tag a line item note to a service item on the services page and set that note to appear automatically when that service item is added to work performed or the invoice. Okay, that's a good review of the layout. Let's move on to adding service items. To add a new service item, first select a visit date. Then select an affected room where the work occurred, or the supply was consumed, or the equipment was placed. Then search for the desired service item in the description field. Blade auto-suggests matches from your company's custom service list, or from Xactimate line items if Xactimate integration is enabled for your account. The most effective way to search is by entering the name of a material or the name of the equipment or the name of the consumable material. Then pick the desired service item from the list of search results. For example, find an air mover line by entering fan or air mover. Find a dehumidifier by typing DU. Type floor protection, or bag, or filter to find the desired supply. That's an easy way to do it, but Blade will search for the right service item using anything you enter. For example, find a service item for a 2-foot drywall flood cut by searching for any part of the description. After selecting the right item, you can get more detail about the selected line item by clicking the small information icon on the left side of the entry area. This information and photo are attributes you can add to each service item on the Services page in Account Settings. This information is helpful for your users and only appears on the Work Performed and Invoice pages. Alright, after picking the desired service item, hit Enter or use the mouse to click into the quantity field. Then hit Enter or click on the green colored plus button to add the item. Edit the affected room, description, or quantity by clicking into the appropriate field to make changes. All the changes you make to the room name, description, or quantity are saved automatically. Alright, let's quickly review how this Work Performed tool is configured to permanently track job site work each day and can also instantly create an aggregated, fully priced invoice. As an example, let's say your crew takes out 12 square feet of vinyl sheet flooring on Friday, the first day of the job. They take out 2 square feet of sheet flooring in the same room the next day on Saturday, after normal business hours. Then they take out another 3 feet of vinyl flooring the 4th day, during a normal hours visit. That's a little unorthodox, but it works as an example. If we sort the work performed list by visit, we see that Blade is tracking all work performed each day. But don't worry, Blade automatically combines the right lines when creating an invoice. Check it out. To create an invoice using work performed, open an invoice. Click the green button or click on the Edit Invoice dropdown, then select Create from Work Performed. Blade automatically creates a fully priced invoice using your default price list. Notice that the 2 normal hour vinyl removal lines are combined into one line with a quantity of 15. That's cool stuff, but we're just getting started learning about Blade automation. Let's talk about how Blade pre-filters searchable and selectable service items to ensure accurate and complete data. Selecting a visit date as part of the entry process does more than simply log the date. The primary purpose of selecting the visit date with each entry is to eliminate data entry error. For example, let's say you have a service item for an emergency service call during normal business hours. And you also have a service item for an after-hours emergency service call. If you select an after-hours visit date, only the after-hour emergency service call will be searchable and selectable. The normal hours emergency service call service item will only be searchable or selectable when a normal hour visit is selected. Selecting an appropriate visit eliminates error. The visit date works hand in hand with the trade, category of water, and waste handling parameters to ensure that only the correct service items are selected and entered. Never miss after-hours lines again. Never enter a Cat 1 line for Cat 3 work ever again. Here's how it works. The category of water and waste handling selections profoundly affect which line items are searchable and selectable when users record work performed at the job site or when they add line items to an invoice. Like the trade, these settings help ensure speed and eliminate costly errors. For example, if Cat 3 water is selected on this page, only those service items applicable to Cat 3 loss will be searchable and selectable. If the waste handling method is set to bag and haul away, only those service items marked with that waste handling type will be searchable and selectable. For example, you might have a service item for tearing out vinyl sheet flooring where the waste hauling method is set to bag and haul away. You might have another service item for tearing out vinyl sheet flooring where the waste handling method is set to discard at the job site. Set the correct waste hauling method, category of water, trade, and visit date. Blade makes sure users only see and select correct service items. This works the same way with your custom service list and with Xactimate. In short, there is no reason to make your users search through 49,000 line items when most of those lines are not applicable to the loss. By pre-filtering the searchable and selectable line items, Blade facilitates speed and ease of use and eliminates duplicate data entry, so work log at the job site can instantly become an accurate invoice. Technicians see a limited list of easy-to-understand line items when recording work performed. The entries they make instantly become the invoice. Let's shift gears. You might be wondering why Blade adds a room called All. Blade organizes the invoice by section. The first section is the General section. We call it the All section. All other sections are simply the names of affected rooms at the job site. Work performed within an affected room at the job site is typically listed on the invoice within that room section. For example, waste hauling is not work performed within an affected room, so it will be logged in the All section. Blade helps make sure this happens on each invoice to keep you organized. If your service item is marked as a general service in account settings, it will appear in the All section of work performed even if the user selected a room when they entered the waste hauling line item. For example, I will select the basement bathroom, but when I enter the service item, Blade will correctly log the waste hauling line in the general section. Okay, let's cover the last topic. I'll take a minute to show you how the Work Performed panel helps you automatically enter accurate equipment service items and track equipment used at the job site. When you add an equipment service item, and if the Use Equipment Setup Log checkbox is checked, the added equipment is entered directly into the equipment log and not to the Work Performed grid. For example, let's add 2 air movers to the basement bathroom. An entry is made in the equipment log showing the equipment as installed and operating in that room. Let's take down or remove the equipment from the bathroom using the equipment log takedown feature. Blade automatically adds the equipment line item to the list of work performed. It calcs the correct number of run days and automatically adds a line item note showing key setup and takedown details. If Xactimate integration is enabled, Blade also adds lines for equipment setup, takedown, and monitoring with a starting suggested breakdown of the hours. It also adds an equipment decontamination line with a useful line item note. If I accidentally delete one of these line items in the grid, or if I make changes to the equipment log, I can pull a refresh set of data into the Work Performed grid using the menu item called Pull in Equipment from Log in the Edit Work dropdown. Okay, let's quickly cover the tools and features along the top of the panel. The Filter Service List dropdown allows you to filter the searchable and selectable service items when adding work performed. These filters are set on the Services page in Account Settings. These filters are useful for newer users who may not be familiar with your service list. For example, by clicking on Detach or Move, then on Fixtures, the user can easily see there are a number of items they should be recording as billable work when detaching or removing fixtures. Click on a Make PDF button to generate a PDF showing all work performed in each room. The doc is automatically saved in Job Documents. The PDF is organized by room and prints with the service item SKU, description, and quantity. We touched quite a bit on service item settings, such as invoice order, category of water, general service, waste handling method, etc. Learn more about services on the Support Center Services page. All right, that was a little long, but we needed to touch on several important features of the Blade Work Performed panel. Explore other training modules in the Support Center to get the most from Blade, the software that helps you maximize profit and quickly turn your hard work into cash.